What's up, everybody? Welcome to the channel. And I already did the 4-2-2 video. I'm telling you, this outside of the 5-2-3, which is also meta, is an insane setup if you like a 4-back instead of a 5-back, because you still have an incredible attacking cast of players while having great coverage in the back. You have your 2 CDMs, right, which makes it better in the 5-2-3 defensively, since in the 5-2-3 you just have those 2 CMs, so you must pressure with those 5 backs. Otherwise you're going to get those 30-yard finesse shots or even snapshots and stuff once those finesse shots are nerfed today. But with CDMs, it makes that a little harder for your opponents to get the ball in and around your box and take those shots. And then you have your cams on drop back, so they support defensively as well, and then shoot up the field to help Son and Ronaldo or whoever your strikers are. Now, the reason why I love this setup as well as the 5-2-3 is because you can actually play football. I wanted to show you some of the highlights and talk through why this formation and these tactics are so good. I kind of went slow here so you could pause and check out my settings in case you didn't see that video, but you can search back and find the 4-2-2, and where I talk about it in particular more in depth as well, right? So with that being said, that was the early on probably the only, I'd say, glitchy goal, if you want to call it. It wasn't no 30-yard finesse, but finesse shot. It was one of the only ones I scored in this setup, right? Because in the 4-2-2 you can actually create good attacks and score regular goals, and that's what I wanted to go over with you guys and show you. Unfortunately, with the way the game works right now, you kind of are dealing with every opponent, even if you're not trying to play in that glitchy exploit driven way and your opponent is. You either have to choose to do it or lose the game. So I kind of made a rule that if my opponent goes for blood with the exploits, I'll go for blood. However, as you see there, we score plenty of beautiful build-up goals, which just goes to show you that this game could be, like, if you take away the rats that are always looking for the exploits, right, this game could be good, right? It's not, yes, the developers got to do better because rats exist to get this stuff out of the game. However, it's those players that choose to find these things and then use them. That is the biggest problem, as you'll see in many of these highlights from this 4-2-2. You can play good football, and then the game would be a lot more fun. Now, is there some wonky stuff going on? Yes, and it serves to show whenever Strikers goes to fix something, right? They go to fix this, that, and the other, and they might fix it, or they might not. They might just sort of put a Band-Aid on it. But either way, every time they go to fix something, they break 5 other things, Like, the passing was never this terrible where it's going in different directions. The shooting with the opposite foot on the finesse shots, that never happened before. Okay, so the through balls, yeah, they put a Band-Aid on it. They didn't fix it. You'll still see many through balls where they don't go all the way through. Some will be perfect, and then others will just lock onto the defender, or they won't even be through balls that lock onto your player's feet when you wanted to lead your player. So there's still a lot of work to be done in the game overall. Still some goofy animations where the ball's kind of glitchy, bouncing around. You would think by now, after this many patches, they could fix at least some of these things. The fact that you can still flick on the ball in a corner and use that nonsense, or L2 cross, those type of things, right? You would hope it would be gone. But I just wanted to show you, I went undefeated in the several games that I played. There's a couple ties where on both of them the opponent unfortunately just had that CR7 that could shoot those 30-yard finessers, and that could sprint with L1, R2, zigzag, and get, stay in games when they're getting outplayed. So you're just going to face that. And the worst part about it, though, is that Strikers doesn't give you even like a point, let's say, or half of a win for a tie to go towards your 15. So it's literally, if you end in a tie, it's a total waste of your time, which is the biggest nonsense. The fact that they haven't changed that is crazy. They need to change that. They need to start working on their penalty kicks and stuff so they can offer like overtime and PKs to settle those tied games in these weekend modes, because nothing's worse than ending one of these things in a tie, right? It's just, you feel like your time was wasted. So with that being said, it still just wasn't fun to play. There wasn't that satisfaction even when I was scoring all these non-exploit goals. It was more just like, look, you can do that, guys. You can play like this. But I know the people in my chat, and I know the people on my channel for the most part, aren't doing the ratty, glitchy stuff, right? However, the vast majority of the player base is. If they showed you a highlight reel from their gameplay today, you would see 30-yard shot after 30-yard shot after, corner glitch after L2 cross. So that's where you get into a crossroads where, game's going tough for you. You're trying to work in and score real goals, and then your opponent just keeps hitting 30-yard shots. So even if you're scoring, it happened like in one of the games. I ended up winning it. But I go down, score a good goal. They come down, they hit a 30-yard glitch goal. I go down, score another good goal. They hit another one. And then finally I took the lead and was able to stop them. But it just makes the game so frustrating and makes you start contemplating, why am I even playing? So I had somebody ask me, shout out Yannick's great guy, but it's like, dude, you have 20 people watching you right now, man. Like, why don't you just keep playing? And I told him, I'm like, as soon as I feel like it's a chore and I'm not really having fun, I got to turn it off because the passion goes away. Not only that, but that's when mistakes start happening, and it's not a full representation of how I would play. So that's when I turn it off. And the reason people like myself feel this way about UFL is because you're playing against opponents that are just going for exploits. So when you win, there's a little bit of satisfaction, I guess, of beating a rat. But outside of that, you know that in your future games, that's all it is going to be, right? It's not going to be proper football, really. So you add that to the fact that, all that excitement about what strikers could do in the future is it's totally went away for me. And for many, it's, for the most part, they don't have any real faith in strikers, or if they do, it's not what it used to be. Because strikers time and time again have proved, like I said, they're just going to keep breaking stuff as they try to fix other things. So all that combined makes it tough to get excited to play this game still. That's just the truth. With that being said, the 5-2-3, you can look back and look at those. Tactics are excellent, but if you want to go the 4-back route, as you've seen here, it is very strong. Definitely stronger defensively for stopping those 30-yard finesse shots. You have more coverage in the midfield, and overall just a lot of great attacking options while being strong defensively. So you can check out in this video where I pause for the different roles if you want a more in-depth breakdown of the 4-2-2. You can look up that video from not too long ago. And you've seen here, you can absolutely use this and score some great goals. It doesn't have to be exploits. So even if you're not using the tactics, just take that note that you can be successful in this game without being a rat using exploits. Simple as that. So keep grinding, keep having fun, and I will see you on the next one. Peace.